Hi, this is Dave Johnston with DayTrade the Markets, and as you can see, I've just placed an order here, and I'm currently long 4 contracts from 1869.50. And what I will do right now is these 4 contracts, I'm going to put an order in to sell half of this position up here at 1871. So I'll put that order in. The other thing I'm going to do is that this movement off of the low here, I think, has been fairly strong, and to get this, well, what I'm trying to say is I need to put my stop in. So what I'm going to do here, this blue bar, as you can see, this blue cyan bar right here, this one as it came off of the low, I'm going to put my stop just below that. So that low is at 1867.75. So I'm going to put my stop at 1867.50. So there's my sell stop right there. So I've basically entered this trade, as it turns out anyway, right at the top of this cyan bar with my stop 1 tick below it. So I'm using the DayTrade the Market software on this trade. This is what we like to use. You can see it's registered. You can see it written right here in the corner. And so this is early in the going. The regular trading hour session started right in here. You can see the market took a bounce up, came down, made a new low in here, a little bit of a bounce, and then another new low, and then has rallied higher. So our view of the market is that it is in an up auction intraday. So I am trading in sync with that. And I'm also trading, you can see here when the market first made its initial low for the day over here, had a bounce, then it came down and made a slightly new low. Now a lot of times when a market will go down and make a new low and not have any follow through, it can really have a good move higher. In this case it did have a bit of a bounce, but you can see that it then came down and made another new low. Now a lot of times when the market is making a new low quickly after an existing low and then get firmly rejected, and when I'm saying firmly rejected, you can see that here is the earlier low, or the prior low, not earlier low, I guess you'd have to call this one over here the earlier low, but the prior low was right here. So when a market goes down, and you can see both of these bars here, this bar that made the new low right here, and the very next bar, both of these bars have triangles below their lows. This first one here also has a dot, or a circle. So the dot of the circle means that that bar had divergence in it, means that there was actually more buying than selling in the bar. And the way I would know that is because this little bar right here took out its previous bar's low. So we would classify that as a selling bar because of that, not because of where it closed, but because of its relationship with its previous bar. And then the next bar came in here and decelerated. So they both decelerated. They both have triangles, meaning that the amount of selling in the bar was less than the previous bar. So and then we came up and immediately thereafter formed this blue cyan bar, as you can see right here. And so I put an order in once this high was taken out. So you can see I got filled right here at 69.50, and I'm expecting this market, well, my first objective here is a 1.5 at 1871. I do have my stop in here at 1867.50. So as far as the auction process goes, this is really what we're looking at, or at least what I try to focus on in my trading to identify opportunities. Now, as I said at the beginning of this video, I like to try and trade with the underlying interday direction of the market, and that's something that we determine by taking a look at other charts, other time frame, longer time frame charts. We like to take a look at particular at the 10-minute and the 30-minute and the daily. And in particular, the 30-minute, when we're looking at that, we look at it through the eyes of the market profile to help us identify where some likely good areas of support and resistance lie, and also what we think the interday direction of the market is. So those are some of the tools that we use. And of course, we update a website every night in that regard. So I'm going to let this sit for a little bit. It's come within it hit 70.50. We're long at 69.50, so it's moved a point in our favor. I have an objective here at a point and a half. So I think perhaps what I'll do here is, just so the video doesn't get too long, unless it just moves up here very quickly. Okay, well, it's moving up. That's good. Might have to put the video on pause here in a moment. If we, hopefully we'll get filled here in just a minute and be able to make an adjustment on this stop. Okay, so it's hit our first objective of a point and a half. So now that that has happened, I really need to adjust my stop, even though I haven't yet been filled. So I'm going to go ahead and move my stop to break even. I'm going to put it right on where I entered, because I just don't think it's smart money management for a trade that you're in to move to your first objective. And in this case, it's a fairly modest objective. I mean, we're only looking at a point and a half here. That's not a tremendous run. I don't, in other words, I don't want for the market to move a point and a half in my favor, and for whatever reason it turn around and get me stopped out. So I'm just going to go ahead, and that's why I've got my stop in there at break even, and hopefully get filled in our first objective before it pulls back. So that's really what we're looking at here today on this trade. It's been the first trade of the day. Trying to take a look at an opportunity to get in on the long side because of our intraday bias being up. So we'll take it from there. Okay, here it's come right back down. And should we get stopped, it'd be unfortunate because it did hit our first objective, but no worse than a break even on this trade at this point, should it actually come down and hit that 69.50. So I'm going to go ahead right now and put the video on the recording of this video on pause, and I'll pick it up as the market as developments dictate. Okay, I restarted again just a minute later. You can see that we just got filled on our first objective there at 1871. So I'll just move this for a minute so you can see it. You can see now here it states we only have 2 contracts on, because obviously we've sold 2 of the 4 that we had. So I need to make an adjustment on the number of contracts here for this stop. So obviously I need to bring that down to 2, because we're only long now 2 contracts. And I'll go ahead, and I'm going to go ahead and put that stop back at break even. So all I did was adjust my stop, not the price, but the quantity down from 4 to 2, because obviously we only have 2 contracts in play. So we're going to let this continue to run for the time being. I think what I will do, however, is for one contract, now we've made a point and a half on one, so I'm going to go ahead and see if we can get 3 points on one. So I'm going to put a sell limit in here. And now this is a couple of ticks above the high of the day, and will give us 3 points on this second contract, or 1/4 of our overall position. Now I'm doing that because I sort of got 3 philosophies here on my exits. The first exit is to make a very modest kind of profit, and the second one is make what I would consider a reasonable profit, and the third one is to just kind of let the trade go should I get on board a really good moving market. So that's really the reasoning behind this. So I'm just going to leave my stop where it is right now, and kind of give this market a little bit of time to develop, and because I do think there is a good potential, should the market be able to get above around this 72 and change area. I think there's a barrier up in here. There's a lot of volume in here in this area yesterday, so there's likely to be some resistance in here, but I think it could probe up there and then come back, in which case we get filled on the long, or it could just really power its way through this 72 and change area and really get a nice trade out of it. So I'm sort of hedging my bets in the sense that, I've got one contract that says it probably will continue to act as resistance, and then I've got another one in here that says it could if it does break out, that I'm going to be on board. So that's really the sort of the feeling of what and the thought process of where we're at on this trade at the moment. So I will go ahead and just put the video recording on pause, and we'll get back to it here as dictated by the market. Okay, I restarted the video here, and the recording of it, I should say. So you can see here that we have come and we've just taken out the earlier high. Our exit here on 1/4 of the position, or just a single contract, at 72.50. I did put this blue line on here. I forgot to mention that we did have support. We were expecting support in around the 68 level. So when it came down here, this was one of the factors, of course, in determining wanting to get long, was the fact that it had come down here, tested this support 2-3 times, and then had a good run higher with good aggressive buying. So with this cyan blue bar, we call that a level 1 buying bar. That is the weakest of the 3 levels that we have. So today is okay. We just got filled on that. So obviously I got to change this down to 1 contract here. I'll just go ahead and put that there, and I will move this up just a little bit. You can see this last dip was at 70.50. So I'll move that up to 70.25, at least for now. If we can get this break through this 72 or so area, then it could very well hit the 74, 75 level, and who knows after that. But what we will do on the management of this trade, we'll just kind of trail a stop, and we'll make those determinations as the market moves along, where we actually want to put that protective sell stop for this final 1/4 of our position. I did go ahead, if any of you are interested in learning more about these trades and our software, here's our email address over here, info@daytradethemarkets.com. So, and I mentioned the 68 likely support area, and the market just is, so it's moving up nicely. Now, the stop here just a little bit below this last dip. If I was more aggressive, I would put it a couple of ticks below here, and place the stop perhaps at 1871, which isn't that bad of an idea. That's, I do like to place stops like that. So, however, on this particular because I'm in the final 1/4 of my position here, I tend to give this trade, or this final 1/4 position, a lot of room to move, in the sense that it's sort of a different philosophy or a different attitude towards the management compared to the first half of the position, and then the second 1/4 and the final 1/4, sort of in 3 different sections there. So the first exit for the 1/2 of the position is a modest gain, second one a reasonable profit, and then the third one to kind of let it go. So as a result, I want to be as lenient as I can with my stop on that final 1/4 position, because obviously there's a give and take in the market, and should the market perhaps pull back a little bit more than what I thought, and then still move higher, I just want to be on to it. So under regular circumstances, if this was the first 1/2 of the position, or even the second 1/4, I'd probably move this stop to just 2 ticks below the low of this level 2 aggressive buying bar, this cyan bar right here, in which case my stop would be right here at this price of 1871. So I do have my stop at 1870. Of course, only 3 ticks lower. So because it's the final 1/4 position, or 1/4 partial position on the actual trade, which originated with 4 contracts, I'm just going to let it go for the time being. So I'm going to leave the stop in here, and put the video on pause and pick it up as need be. Okay, restarted the video here. As you can see, the market has continued to move a bit higher. So we've got the low here of the cyan bar, as I was mentioning, right here at 71.50. So I'm just going to move this up to 71 now that we've gone up, and because we have reached 73.75, and our stop now is at 71. So that's what, 2 3/4 points from the high, and it's below the low of this cyan bar. So I think we're okay on that. I just wanted to update you there on the movement of that stop. So at least we've locked in a point and a half on this final partial position on this final contract of the 4 that we took. So I'll just let the market keep doing its thing here and get back to you soon. Okay, I've started the recording of this video back up again. You can see the market has continued to move higher. It did come down within 3 ticks of our stop here, so the stop turned out to be a good place. We are breaking through that. Well, we have broken through the 72, and now we're up into that 74.75. But it's looking like it wants to keep going, so it's pretty powerful. So obviously, I need to adjust my stop here, and we've got a let's use this arrow here. You can see we've got this level 1 buying bar, and then we've got a second level 1 buying bar. So you know, the market's moving up fairly nicely. So I obviously want to capture as much of this as I can, so I want to adjust this stop. I could place it here, which is 2 ticks below the low of this cyan bar, or I could place it 2 ticks below the low of this cyan bar. So I think for now, this level here in the 74.75 is pretty important. So it could, you know, it's either going to continue to, you know, really power through here, or, you know, could really turn around. So I'm going to a little bit tighter stop on this one. I am going to bring this up to 73.50, which is now 2 ticks below the low of this most recent buying level 1 bar. And so should it slow get taken up by a couple of ticks and get down excuse me, to 73.50, I'll be stopped. Now we are long from 69.50, so it'll lock in 4 points. I did adjust this over here, so I'm going to go ahead and change that to 4.00 should this happen, which would give us 4. So give us 13. Just kind of keep that up to date. Okay, so here's our email over here, as you can see, and I've updated the position as it stands right now. Should we get stopped in this final for 4, will give us a total of 13 points today. So, and our email here, info@DayTrade the Markets. Should you have any questions or comments, just send them on over. So, you know, the market's moving up nicely. That 74.75 area, possible resistance. So, you know, we've got our stop in fairly tight here. We'll just let this go. We've got next areas of likely resistance from approximately 77.50 to 79, and certainly the market could get up there. But if it wants to back off first before it, you know, does take that attempt to ascend to those higher levels, then at least we're in here, and you know, we've locked in some good profits. So I will go ahead and pause this recording once again and get back to you as the market dictates. Okay, just started the video back up. Just got stopped right there. As you can see, it came down, hit our price at 73.50. So we are out of this trade. So I just put the summary over here. The first half of the position, because we had 4 contracts, was a 1.5. Second one was 3 points, so a total of 3 points on the first exit, total 3 points on the second exit, and 4 points on the final exit, for a total of 10 points here on this particular trade. So Any questions or comments, just contact us at info@daytradingmarkets.com. This has been Dave Johnston for Day Trade the Markets, and today the recording on this, by the way, was Wednesday, April the 30th, 2014. So I hope this helps you out on giving you some ideas on your trades and maybe a little bit different view of the market and how our software works, some reasons for the trades and from the trade management standpoint. So anyway, I hope that helped, and all the best to you in your trading, and we'll see you next time.